Okay, so the next step that I'm going to talk about as far as Lightfield monotypes go is I'm going to show you how to prepare the paper. So I pulled out a plate from underneath the cabinet and I just picked out a small one for this demo. And then I also found some scraps of paper in the paper drawer. And so I'm just going to use white paper and then I'm going to tear this. By tearing it, you get a really cool edge that mimics the decal edge, which is on the paper. So this is an edge of a paper that actually has a deckled edge. And in paper making, that's actually kind of where the edge of the paper is when it's released from the screen in actual paper making. So unfortunately with the Reeves BFK, only 2 of the edges are the actual decal edge, and it's such a large sheet of paper that you're not going to use the full sheet for a print with such a small plate. But what you can do is you can kind of mimic that deckled edge by using a tear bar. So I just use a nice heavy ruler to tear the paper, and so I'm just going to take my plate and just put it here, and I'm going to just give myself a little space around the edges. You could be really calculated about this. You could think about what size you want to have at the bottom to label your monotype. So you could really think about the size of the paper in relation to the size of the plate. And so I do kind of like it maybe just being centered like this. And then you just want to make sure that your ruler is perpendicular to this edge of the paper before you start tearing. And then I'm going to remove the plate. I'm going to hold down the ruler, and then I'm just going to pick up this edge and just start to pull and tear. So as I pull, I'm just going to pull my fingers down a little bit and just continue to tear the paper, okay? And so then I'll get a little bit of a torn edge there. Now we do have what's called a decal edge ruler. You could try this. This might give you an edge that looks a little bit closer to what the real deckled edge looks like. So however you'd like to tear your paper, go for it. Okay, so the next step for the Lightfield printmaking is I'm going to go ahead and soak my paper. So I would recommend doing this for about 30 minutes just to make sure that it's nice and saturated, so that way the print will lift from the plate onto the paper. And so doing this before you actually do the print on the plate is helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this tray up with really nice warm water. And then I'm just going to go ahead and drop my paper in here and just make sure it's submerged. And then I'm just going to leave it in there for 30 minutes.